This is what the sand and rock look like before any water has touched it. The water has been running downstream in our stream table, which is a model of erosion and sedimentation. You can see the channel is being formed. The water is carving out and moving grains of sand downstream. This model represents what can happen over the course of hundreds, thousands, even millions of years. The water will shape the land as it runs across its surface.
We've got our headwaters or our mountain spring or our snow melt running down the side of the mountain, creating a creek as it goes. It's the water's picking up those grains of sand and carrying them away, which is erosion, and we're eventually depositing them down here. Slightly different model in that we have more chunky terrain here with more boulders, and so water's going to follow the path of least resistance. So it's going to go around, and you can see it's starting to go around those rocks and pebbles, which kind of represent boulders and stony creek beds, and it's kind of create some more gnarly, twisty channels in the terrain.
Yours looks really cool with these different sized stones.
Yeah.
A little extra snow melt.
So we even have a channel being carved here. This would represent a smaller creek coming down the mountain, which then empties into what is becoming a river channel. You can see the power of the water as it starts to pick up the larger pieces. This little stone right here is about to go. Maybe?
Yeah, you can see the pebbles being pushed downstream.
So this would represent the opening of the river at the edge of a continent. This would represent a delta formation. That's that triangular alluvial fan that we're getting, just like we got with Mr. Connor's model. And all of this is happening over millions and millions of years. And it's continuing to happen. Small changes lead to big changes. So after millions of years, you can see this is what is left once that river has stopped running. You can see up here at the top, you can see that the smaller grains have been washed away and the larger stones remain. So that smaller sand has been eroded downstream. And you can see that there have even been channels carved within the channel. So this is places where the water went and then it changed direction. And so there are different little channels within our big channel. And you can clearly see the triangular alluvial fan that's left of our river delta. This is where all of that sediment was deposited.
In this model, with the finer grains of sand and just some larger pieces that represent boulders or portions of the mountain that have larger chunks of rock, a great portion of the channel has widened out, and again it's pushed that sediment down as the erosion takes place over the course of millions of years. Slightly different outcome because the rock and sand that we chose for this model was different, and you'll see that in real life too.